From the University of North Dakota, this is Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Hello and welcome to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy. The Sioux pull out the black jerseys in Madison and pull out a sweep of the Badgers. Scores were 1-0 and 4-2, but it really wasn't that close. We've got a full lineup for you today on the program. It's no wonder that he's a hockey player. It certainly runs in his family. Brett Bruneteau, the subject of our player profile. Also, hat tricks are hard to come by in college hockey. It's tough enough to get one goal, not to mention three, unless your name is Cherski and you played for the Sioux in the 50s. Our feature story is with Sioux legend Ben Cherski. Stick around, Coach Dave Hakstol is going to give us his take on a pair of impressive wins in Madison. But before we talk to the coach, we have a question for you. Ralph Engelsted's number 23 is one of two Sioux jerseys to be retired. Whose is the other? The answer and more when we come back. You're watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Voller Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
Fighting Sioux women's basketball takes on the Colorado State Rams of the Mountain West Conference on Sunday, November 21st at 2 p.m. at the Betty. Get your tickets today.
I am North Dakota.
No matter who you are, he's making a list, checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Shining star, no matter who you are.
Verizon's your home for Samsung Galaxy, like the exclusive Continuum and the Fascinate, or the Samsung Galaxy Tab that runs Flash.
I am North Dakota. We are North Dakota. We are North Dakota.
Fighting Sioux basketball season tickets are on sale now. Call 877-91-SIOUX.
It's a place to diddly bob shop, put shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make your taste buds jump and jive. Yeah, it's great as Great Forks, a great destination. Great as Great Forks. Ha! They don't call it grand for nothing. Stop, hop, chopped up into Great as Great Forks. It's simply grand.
Before the break, we asked you, besides Ralph Engelsted's jersey number 23, whose is the only other number to be retired? The answer, Terry Casey's jersey number 12. Casey was a Sioux All-American and captain in the 1964-65 season. He was killed in a traffic accident when he was 23 years old. Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey with Coach Dave Hakstol. Coach, what a great weekend for your team in Madison at the Kohl Center. Not too many teams go in there and do what you do or what you did on the weekend. Starting on Friday night with a lot of penalty problems, major penalties and everything else. So you guys somehow muddled through it for a 1-0 victory. That was very impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just kind of stayed focused on the job at hand. I thought that was probably the best part of our game on Friday night. We didn't get distracted by anything other than our next shift. We were just, we didn't worry about any of the things, penalty calls, anything like that went against us. Wisconsin's power play was clicking at about 30% going in, so it was not an easy task, but we did a real good job. We got on a roll, and when you get that momentum on the penalty kill, it's tough for the opposing power play.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and you have to talk about Aaron Dell, the goaltender, who didn't have a whole lot of action, but when he did see some shots in that game, he certainly came up big, and that's sometimes not that easy to do.
No, when you're not called upon to make a lot of saves, you have to be sharp for those grade A quality chances when they do come your way, and I thought Aaron did a great job of that. He found pucks through traffic, he handled his rebounds pretty well, which against Wisconsin is really important. They crashed the net very well, so he did a good job for us.
We showed the Joe Gleason hit that it resulted in a major penalty, very close to being shoulder to shoulder. That one was.
Well, it was shoulder to shoulder. I guess the end result of it is probably what got the penalty call.
And then the only goal of the game is a game-winning goal for Jason Gregoire, who's going up the charts in game-winning goals. He has 12 now, I believe. But what a great pass from Derek Lapointe.
Great pass, on the situation. Jason really read the play and blew out of the zone. Derek got the puck to him with a bounce pass off the wall, and just a big-time shot by Jason to beat Scott Goodmanson, who had been great all night long.
Maybe the key on the shot, and not too many people can do it, you can work at it all you want, but his feet were moving. And his feet screws up a goaltender, doesn't it?
Tim, his feet were moving, and he pulled that from a non-shooting position to a shooting position very quick and snapped it. Just under the bar. It was a great shot. It was a big-time shot.
How difficult is that? A lot of guys can cruise into it and get a good shot off. Not too many can keep the feet moving and get it.
It's not easy to do, and that's why at that point of a game, a 0-0 game, you need a player to step up and make a big play. That was a big play.
Now a chance for a sweep. You've had Friday night victories the previous 2 weeks at home. Now you get a chance on the road for a sweep.
Well, I was concerned a little bit after the first period Saturday night. We had really dominated and we didn't have anything to show for it, but we just stayed with it. By the end of the second period, we had the 1-goal lead. We had a second goal disallowed, but that didn't seem to take us off track at all. We just kept pounding away, and eventually built a 3-goal lead.
Great redirect by Corbin Knight on that pass by Che Genoway.
Great redirect at a great time. The shift after Wisconsin had just tied it up on a power play that really could have been a momentum builder for Wisconsin. Corbin Knight and his unit went back out there and put us back on top. A power play goal shortly after to follow, and then Matt Fratton built the 3-goal lead with a great play from Evan Trupp.
It seemed as though all weekend long, the focus of your team, you were on the power play a lot on Saturday night, they were on the power play a lot on Friday night. Your focus never changed.
No, and that's, I think that was something that was very important for our hockey team. Like I said, you can't worry about the things that you don't control, and I think at different times through this year, we've gotten a little bit distracted. You can't afford to do that against good teams, especially in tough buildings, and we did a good job of just staying on track.
Had the black jerseys on both games. That's unusual for you.
Yeah, Pat Swanson is, he must have had something in mind there, but it worked out.
He's the guy, huh?
He's the guy.
He doesn't make that decision, I don't think. Anyway, it was a great weekend in Wisconsin, a couple of wins there. Kind of makes up for losing a Friday game against Minnesota, Duluth, or Denver even.
Well, it is. We've given up 2 games on Saturday nights at home. We've got to work to get those back over the season. Maybe this is one that we got back on the road.
Well, we are starting to see a little definition in the league standings of the WCHA. We'll take a look at the way things are stacking up. And it's a record that probably, all right, it'll never be broken. 131 goals in a college career. How about 17 hat tricks? Our feature with Sioux legend Ben Cherski coming up next.
Fighting Sioux men's hockey team takes on Notre Dame in the Subway Holiday Classic, November 26th and 27th at the Ralph Engelstad Arena. Get your tickets now.
We are North Dakota!
The play is under review.
Hey, take a look at this.
This online course is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta see that again.
With waterfowl hunting, you're trying to get the birds to come to you. You're picking the field, setting up the decoys, hiding in blinds. You're making the calls, trying to get their attention to make them come to you to get within range. That's where the real challenge lies, is bringing them to you. A rewarding experience would be a customer coming in, telling you their success story that you were able to help them out with. I'm Dave Aberly. I'm a waterfowl expert at Shields.
It's a Sioux basketball doubleheader on November 23rd featuring the women hosting Gonzaga and the men taking on IPFW. First tip is set for 6 p.m. Purchase your tickets now.
We are North Dakota!
The The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where graduates succeed, where ideas are born, and research is driven by imagination. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
There's a lengthy list of prolific goal scorers who skated for UND, players like Dixon Ward, Greg Johnson, Zach Parisi, just a few. But on top of the goal scoring list is a name and number that has remained for more than 60 years. We're with the North Dakota legend of Fighting Sioux Hockey, Ben Cherski. Ben, great to have you on the program.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for asking me. It's always fun and a pleasure to come back to Grand Forks and the university here.
Where are you now, Ben?
The last 24 years, my wife and I have lived in Southern California, just north of San Diego. It's in the area called Carlsbad. It's right near the La Costa. And been there, moved from Denver, 30 years in Denver, and 24 years. The years go on, don't they?
Ben, I talk about legendary, and that's because every time somebody breaks a scoring record on North Dakota of some sort, somebody will say, yeah, but you didn't beat Ben Cherski. What a career you had here, huh?
Well, you know what? It was pretty, looking back, it was pretty good. You don't think about it at the time. You're just going out there and playing. But the times are certainly different, than they are now. And kids today are so much better, so much bigger, maybe not overall better. I think our game was more European back then. It was more skilled, less hitting. Maybe if it's more hitting, I might not have hung around, not being the toughest guy in town. But
Ben, the one thing that sticks out with me statistic-wise was 7 hat tricks in 1 year. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, and it was a short season, actually. Believe it or not, I played 4 years here. Freshmen were eligible because of Korea, the Korean War, and I played only 100 games in 4 years. Today, in 4 years, if they play 4 years, they're up around 140, 150 games. So it was kind of interesting. But those were pretty interesting days back in the old Quonset hut building. When you think about it, we have a lot of laughs thinking about the way things were.
Ben, how about these days when you come back here to this arena and see the crowds and the players? And
this is such an incredible place. And for me, it's an ego builder. I've been at my age, you kind of drift off, and you're just another guy eking out a living and going through things and having a good time with your family growing up. But get back here, I'm Ben Cherski again, and better than when I was Ben Cherski. Obviously, in the retelling, you always get a lot better,
Ben, we certainly appreciate you doing this with us today, and appreciate you when you come back, and it's always great to see you, and congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
North Dakota Fighting Sioux Hockey legend Ben Cherski. Cherski graduated from UND with a mining and engineering degree. After graduation, he decided to forego a tryout with the Chicago Blackhawks. Instead, he moved to Denver, where he worked in the petroleum industry for many years. Stay with us, we'll check out the WCHA standings. And there were some very interesting happenings in the past weekend at Madison. All of the good, the bad, the strange. We'll explain when we come back.
I am North Dakota. We are North Dakota. We are North Dakota.
Fighting Sioux basketball season tickets are on sale now. Call 877-91-SIOUX. Great tickets are still available for many of the exciting University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux home hockey games at the Ralph. Support your team and get your tickets now.
We are North Dakota.
It's a place to get a revive shop, put shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make taste buds jump and jive. Yeah, it's great nation. Greater Grand Forks, they don't call it Grand for nothing. Style, chopped up into Greater Grand Forks. It's simply grand.
Your Fighting Sioux men's hockey team takes on Notre Dame in the Subway Holiday Classic, November 26th and 27th at the Ralph Engelstad Arena. Get your tickets now.
We are North Dakota!
Dreams are forged. Character is tested. Teams are united. Champions win here. Watch the crowning of a new NCAA Men's Frozen 4 champion April 7th and 9th on ESPN and ESPN2 in high definition. For information, visit ncaa.com/Frozen4.
Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy with Coach Dave Hakstol, the Fighting Sioux. Coach, the WCHA standings, looky here, Minnesota Duluth, #1 in the country, #1 in the WCHA. Seems like that might not be a good thing for teams the way it's gone so far this season.
Well, I don't know what the monkey on the back is with that scenario, but Duluth is a good hockey team, and they're full value for that. You're starting to see a little bit of a separation of the top four right now as we're 8 to 10 games into that WCHA schedule, with Nebraska Omaha being the only team not to have a tick in the loss column yet.
I was going to say, you talk about the loss column all the time. Keep your eye on that. Nothing for the Mavericks.
No, they've been perfect thus far. They've lost 1 point to St. Cloud on Saturday night.
Well, let's break down some of the things that happened on the weekend. And of course, Friday night at Wisconsin, it was a tight game. It didn't seem that tight because of the chances that you had, but it was. And here's your game-winning goal. And it was just a great play right from the bottom of the ice to the other end. Yeah, it is just a great play. I mean, Jason Gregoire just making the decision to read the play and get moving out of the zone. That really gained an advantage for him. And the pass by Derek Lapointe off the wall is just a great, smart, intelligent, veteran type of play. And Jason took advantage of it. High on the blocker side of the goaltender. That's a difficult spot to put it in. Well, he pulled it and shot it so quickly that it got under the bar, and just a great shot after Goodmanson had just made a great save before that. 2-1 game. Wisconsin takes a ill-advised penalty, shall we say? Yeah, I thought we took advantage of a couple of penalties that Wisconsin took on Saturday night. We scored about 20 seconds after that one to make it 3-1, which was a huge goal for us at that point in the hockey game. We stuck with it pretty well. We scored a couple power play goals on Saturday night, and that ended up really being the difference in the hockey game. The first goal and the third goal in the power play. This is the Matt Fratton goal, the first goal of the game, with a great net front presence there by Brad Malone. If Brad doesn't do the job in front of Wisconsin's goaltender, this puck doesn't go in the net. It's a great shot by Matt Fratton. Not many guys can let it go up there the way he does with the snapshot, but great net front presence by Brad Malone screening the goaltender. Coach, we talked a lot about you're going to the net hard, and in that first period Friday night, okay, but after that, you really attacked after that, didn't you? I thought Friday night, we were okay in that first period. We didn't get a lot of traffic. We didn't get to any rebounds. But the next 5 periods, we did a better job. That's got to be a real area of focus for us. We have to keep getting better there. You got to drive to that net. You've got to get pucks there, and you've got to get some dirty, ugly ones. You got to get some tip goals, some rebound goals, some screen goals. You mix in, the odd pretty one, which are tough to come by these days, and you're going to be okay. Bottom line is Scott Goodmanson kept those from being bigger scores than they were. He was outstanding, wasn't he, along with your goaltender, obviously? I thought the goaltending on the weekend at both ends was very good. Goodmanson, I thought Saturday night, in particular, really gave Wisconsin a chance to be in that game and to tie it up 1-1. And then, fortunately for us, we were able to get a few past them, in that 5-minute period just before the halfway part of the third period on Saturday night. All right, thanks, Coach. Well, his team is heading for his hometown this weekend, Omaha. And like many college hockey players, he's a product of Shattuck St. Mary's. Brett Bruneteau is the subject of our player profile. We'll get to that, but first a look back at our Fighting Sioux history. His teammates call him Crazy Legs. Rightly so, as Perry Berezan was credited with one of the craziest goals in hockey history. But where is he now? We'll have the answer and more when we come back.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where they learn from leading experts, share in discoveries, and create knowledge. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
I am North Dakota. We are North Dakota. We are North Dakota.
Fighting Sioux basketball season tickets are on sale now. Call 877-91-SIOUX.
As summer is left behind, fall brings new adventures. Make them better with a vehicle from Dahlstrom Motors. Whatever adventures come your way, Dahlstrom can make the difference in making your life a smooth ride.
The real thrill of hunting is the fall season. The thing I enjoy most is watching the dogs work and seeing their enthusiasm. It's a great experience to get a chance to watch the birds flush, get a good shot, getting a good retrieve, a good point, a dog that backs. It gives me a lot of satisfaction to see a nice shotgun go to somebody that truly appreciates the aesthetics of fine rifles or shotguns. I'm Jack Pruitt, and I'm a pheasant hunting expert at Shields.
The answer to our "Where are they now?" question, Perry Berezan was credited with the infamous Steve Smith playoff goal in 1986. He gets credit for the goal that clinched the win for Calgary against Edmonton in that playoff series. Well, everywhere you look in college hockey these days, there's a Bruneteau. And we're happy to have this one at UND. With North Dakota sophomore forward Brett Bruneteau. Brett, we want to talk about the beginnings and where you're from, and we know you're from Nebraska, Omaha. In fact, or from Omaha, Nebraska. A lot of guys going home for games this year, and you'll be one of them, huh?
Yeah, I am.
How did it start?
Well, I actually grew up watching Nebraska-Omaha play. My dad was one of the people who helped start up that program. So there's definitely a little bit of emotion when I go back home, and I'll definitely have a little extra for those games. But I'm very excited to head back there.
To be a good hockey player, it's in your genes, isn't it? I mean, you go back in your lineage and you got some NHLers in your background, huh?
Yeah, that's right. My grandfather played for the Detroit Red Wings. His brother, Mo DeRay, also played with the Red Wings, and their other brother, Johnny, played with Montreal. And right now I got a couple of brothers in college hockey. My brother Matt is at Lake Superior State, and then my other brother Nick is with University of Vermont. And then hopefully the youngest will be on his way. He's a senior in high school.
What does that get like when all you guys get together?
Well, we had a couple of minor fights, altercations this summer about which conference would do the best, and then obviously which team. I'd like to think I got an upper hand on those two this year. But no, my mom's not really a big fan of us going after each other about it.
Obviously a hockey-playing family right from your youth, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shattuck? Another
That's
Shattuck
right.
guy? How'd you get there?
Well, when I was much younger, back in middle school, 6th, 7th grade, I kind of realized that if I was going to continue playing hockey, unfortunately I'd have to leave my hometown and head somewhere else where the exposure was a little better along with the coaching. And Shattuck represented an opportunity that was somewhat close, about 6 hours away from Omaha, and also had a great academic side of it too.
Did that make it easier to advance in school, the fact that they clamped down on you pretty good there, don't they?
Without a doubt. We had mandatory study hall every night for 2 hours.
Oh. From the USHL then to North Dakota, how did that go?
Well, it was quite a jump. Anytime you move on to a higher paced level, there's obviously going to be adjustments that need to be made. There's definitely a faster pace with college hockey, and there's obviously more skill involved too. but I'd like to think I'm making the adjustment pretty well.
What's Brett Bruneteau going to do when he's done playing hockey?
Well, hopefully that's not for a while, but right now I'm working towards an entrepreneurial degree I hope to obtain this summer, and then my junior, senior year I'm looking into law school.
Good, best of luck. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
North Dakota forward Brett Bruneteau. Bruneteau suffered a concussion in junior hockey. He says he's closely watching advances made in equipment that might help out in that area. Well, it's a series that a lot of fans have been looking forward to. North Dakota's first trip to Omaha in the WCHA. Coach Hakstol talking about the Nebraska-Omaha Mavericks when we come back.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Valor Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
Come on, come on, come on.
That is a great online course.
It's a Sioux basketball doubleheader on November 23rd featuring the women hosting Gonzaga and the men taking on IPFW. First tip is set for 6 p.m. Purchase your tickets now.
We are North Dakota!
Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. Tim Hennessy with Coach Dave Hakstol. Coach, a big series coming up. For a lot of reasons, I think fans have been looking forward to this one because it's Omaha and it's Coach Dean Blaze, a former Sioux coach, and also the fact that Nebraska-Omaha's fourth in the country. First time you've been there. A lot of things going on. Can you keep to the task?
Oh, we can keep to the task. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of sidelights maybe to this series, but at the end of the day, it's about the two hockey games, and they're two big games for us. Back on the road, you know, it's the back end of four very tough road games. Nebraska-Omaha is playing really well. They're 8-1-1. They're undefeated in the WCHA, and they're full value for that. So we've just got to keep building. We've got to keep on our task, and that's getting better, playing more complete games, and just go in there with a real single focus.
You know, some way you're going to have to break that trap that Coach Blaze employs all the time.
They're playing.
They just go.
They go. But you know what? They've got great speed and depth through their forward units. You'll see a lot of plays that they make going up ice at high speeds. They cycle very well. You know, I mentioned before their D-core is got a lot of size back there. They're a big group back on the blue line that move the puck pretty well. So good hockey team. It'll be a great series.
And your team has a little bit of momentum yourself.
Well, we're playing well. We're headed in the right direction. But like I said, our biggest focus over the next couple of days has to be getting better and making sure we're a little bit improved team over what we were last week in Wisconsin.
Good luck in Omaha.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. And we want to thank you, too, for watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. The Fighting Irish are coming to town for Thanksgiving. We'll profile a player who's making the most of his senior season and all that and more coming up on our next show. On behalf of Coach Dave Hakstol and the Sioux Hockey team, we thank all our fans for watching, and we'll see you next week on Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.